All right, this is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be looking at Unit 4, Lesson 7, Transformations. Our learning targets for this lesson are I can rotate, translate, and reflect figures, and I can use transformation to prove congruence and extend patterns. The vocab we'll be focusing on today are transformation, rotation, translation, reflection, and congruent. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to learn about a rotation. Let's start with the definition of transformation, which is a change in the position of a figure. One of the transformations we'll be talking about is a rotation. A rotation is a turn. Previously, you learned that you could rotate something around a single point, but you can also rotate things around different points. So if you look at this image here, this one is showing a rotation around the middle point of the object. This is showing a rotation around a point at the top of the object, and this is actually showing a rotation around a point that's not even that's outside of the figure. So let's go ahead and see if we can practice some of these rotations. So it says draw a 90 degrees clockwise rotation around point A. Now on the computer I'm going to use this figure, but mine rotates around the center point, not point A, so that's why it's not on there. But I know I want to go 90 degrees, and then I've got to figure out where it would be on point A, and it would be right here. Because if I rotated 90 degrees back, it would land right on that point. All right, good. How about this one? It says draw a 180 degrees clockwise rotation around point B. All right, so again, 180 degrees. I'm going to do 90 degrees. Again, this one's showing on the center point, and we want it on point B, so we're going to have to rethink this in a second. 90 plus 90 is 180 degrees. So I'm going to move it over here. My rotation will be right here. Because if you think about your clockwise rotation, you'd rotate this way first, so the box would be right here. And then I rotate one more time, and then I would end up right here. Okay? All right. A 3/4 rotation is equal to how many degrees? Explain your answer. Well, let's think about this. I know that 90 degrees is one turn, and that 90 plus 90 is 180. And we want to go one more rotation. So 90 plus 90 plus 90 gives me 270 degrees. So a 3/4 turn is 270 degrees. All right, good. Here's my degree sign right there. Okay, let's keep going here. Next, we're going to talk about translation, or a slide along a common line. So these are all showing different translations, and you'll see that the line does not have to be across, straight up and down. It could be at an angle as well. So I'm going to show you a couple of different translations here. Let's take a look at this one, number 4. If I slide this one to the right, that is an example of a translation. It just moves. It slides across the line. All right, this one wants me to do a translation down. So again, it just slides across the line. How about this one? It says slide the square 5 units up. So I'm going to count my units as I move it. I can get on there. All right. It's not moving for me. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up. All right, now this one wants me to translate it 4 units to the left. So again, I'm counting my grid here. 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. Here we go. So that's a translation. It's a slide across a line. The next transformation we're going to talk about is reflections. A reflection is a flip across the line. It looks like a mirror. There are two congruent images that are a mirror image of each other. So I'll give you a couple of examples here. If I wanted to mirror that rectangle right there, I'm looking at that rectangle. And that rectangle is 1, 2 across the line. So when I try to mirror it, I'm going to want to be 2 over 1, 2 across the line. All right. How about this one? Now I can't just slide this one up. That would be a translation. I can't just go like this and slide it up. I'm going to actually have to flip it first because remember it's a mirror image. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that up and down here. All right, and it's 1 across. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go 1 across and we land right about there. All right, now this one, it's 1 across as well. So I'm going to line it up and then I'm just going to go 1 across right about there. And this one is that same problem we ran into before. If I just slide it down, that'd be a translation. And I want to do a reflection. So I'm going to actually go ahead and flip this. And then slide it down. And again, it's 1 across the line. So I'm going to go right there. All right. Here are a couple things to make it easy for you to remember these translations or transformations. A translation, SL, is a slide of the shape. Translation is a slide. Rotation, capitalize those 2 T's, is a turn. It's turning around a point. A reflection is a flip across the line. We'll come back and I'll have you review those before we finish this lesson. Okay, good. One more review. Translation is a slide. Rotation is a turn, and reflection is a flip. All right. Now, one thing that we have to think about is that, remember, a transformation is just a change of the actual figure. Okay, so we can a transformation is just a change of the position of the figure. We can have a translation, a slide, a reflection, a flip, or a rotation, a turn of the image. In all of these cases, the 2 figures that you're seeing are congruent. They're exactly the same shape, same size. They're exact copies of each other. So we're going to look at these and see if we can figure out which one of the transformations we're seeing. Okay, so look at figure 12 here, and I want us to make a decision about if this is a translation, reflection, or rotation. Okay, so look at number 12. I'm looking at it, and go ahead and take a guess of what you think. What kind of rotation, what kind of transformation do you think it is? If you said rotation, I kind of gave that one away. You are correct. How about number 13? Look at number 13. Think about the different transformations and see if you can guess which one it is. If you said a reflection, you were correct. It's reflecting, it's a mirror image across the line. Sometimes there are 2 transformations that are happening. See if we can figure out which 2 are happening. So how did A get to B? Well, first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to translate A 2 units over here. And then in order to get it to do that, I have to reflect the image. So it's a translation and a reflection. Now this one's a little tricky. I think what they did here is they reflected it over the line first over here, and then they reflected it over this line as well. So I think it's 2 reflections in this case to get it to move there. So oftentimes there's different transformations. You can figure out the transformations they took to move the object from one spot to the other. All right, so the only other thing that we're going to discuss is extending patterns using those transformations. So first you have to decide what transformation it is, and then sometimes how many degrees it moved. So if I'm looking at this image, I've got to figure out what is happening here. All right, I see a turn. I see a turn here, so a rotation, and I'm going counterclockwise. It looks like 90 degrees. So I'm going to guess that this next one, the point is going to be over this direction. Let's take a look. It'll move for me. There we go. All right. So it is 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. All right, in this one, we see that there's a rotation of 180 degrees. Number 3. We look at number 3, and I see the reflection across the line on all of these. So I'm guessing that the A is going to be pointed this direction. Yep, and it's going to be reflection across a vertical line. All right, now this one, they're all the same. So what's happening here? It's going to be the same thing here. And it's a translation, a slide across a line. All right, let's look at number 5 here. Look at number 5. Let's see if we can figure out what's happening. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I see a rotation of 90 degrees counterclockwise. So I'm giving the right-hand corner. All right, number 6. Let's see if we can figure this one out. What's happening here? See if you can guess. If you said a reflection across the vertical line, you were correct. One more time, let's review. A translation is a slide of the shape. A rotation is a turn, and a reflection is a flip. That concludes lesson 4.7.